Hi guys and welcome, and do we have a property for you now? So if you're looking for a renovation project somewhere, say in Portugal, somewhere where you're going to get more for your money, then this is a fantastic property. Now I'm going to show you the photos of this in backwards, in sort of a back reverse order, because I want you to see this photo first. This is actually the last photo, but these next few photos you're going to see the area. Okay, you're going to see the area. So there isn't actually a full garden with this property. There is outdoor space with outdoor parking and room to make the outdoor bigger, but you don't really need a garden when basically all of your outside is a garden. There is so much area in and around this place that you can go and walk dogs and go for cycle rides and all that lot. Some fantastic views around the mountains. So I want to show you this property because it is fantastic. And more to the point, this is a renovation project, but it's priced at €67,000, which in UK British pounds is around £58,500, and in US dollars it is 77,842. So basically 78,000 US dollars. So this is a fantastic property. It's a 3-bedroom village house in São Miguel. It's around Santa Eufémia and Rabaçal. I don't know if I pronounced that properly. Even though I lived in Portugal, my Portuguese pronunciations of things is pretty poor. So this is the property here. And like I say, it's a 3-bed village property. And I just want you to look at these incredible views. And you can see there's actually a little play area here as well. So it's a fantastic little area. It's a very safe area for people with children. Great for dog walking and all that kind of stuff. So if we go back and have a look at the aerial photo, this is the property here. It's a very quiet road. It's an end of property. So you've got, the great thing about Portuguese properties is often how they can be quite higgledy-piggledy. So this is your house area here. Then you've got this outside area which can all possibly be converted into more. And then there's another little sort of garden area there. So you've got off-road parking, pair of gates there, which we'll look at. But let's just have a look at, again, some of these views. So this is the views from your property. So you've got a bit of a farm, a home farm in front of your property. But just look at these gorgeous views. These are potentially the Lusa mountain range, which I think is more potentially to your left if you're looking at the screen, but this could be the Lusa mountain range, and it's the Lusa mountains is a beautiful area full of, I think it's about 20 odd shish villages or flint stone houses, and it is such an incredible place to go and visit. So again, let's have a look. So this is another view. This is probably a bit higher. I think this is a drone version, but look, this is your sort of garden here. This is your wall. You step out and you've got this beautiful walk down here, and just look at these views here over the valley. What a fantastic view that is. So this is the property here. Now looking at the property here. So as you can see, you've got your gates. So you've got off-road parking, so you can drive down. Like I say, you're a bit of a central area of the village. There's a little sort of swing set there. So I don't know if it's like a little play area. There's an empty, what appears to be an empty abandoned house on the other side. And then as you come through here, this is your house, but this also is yours. So you got where my hand is going around the screen, and down here and here. This bit isn't, so that must be to somewhere at the back. But you've got this, as you say, you come in through the gates into off-road parking, then up the steps and then into the house. This down here looks like it may be a little downstairs bathroom. We shall have a look at that in a second. But as I say, this is a renovation property that has a lot of potential, So let's have a look, shall we? And the one thing I want you to look at is the quality of these Portuguese old houses. I mean, they have these old wooden roofs. Some of the properties you see in Portugal, the roofs need replacing, or the ceilings inside. This one looks pretty good actually. And it actually looks like it's had plastic windows put in some of these. So some of the windows have been replaced, so that's good. And you can see some of the existing old timbers. May need a little bit of work on them, may not, we don't know. Now, Portuguese houses can be quite cold in winter, so it may be potentially a good idea to batten these walls, put some insulation behind them, and sort of put up some plasterboard, drywall, maybe even skim it, but definitely try and insulate the houses from the inside, because they can be very bitter in winter. Even though the outside temperature is warmer, certainly warmer than the UK. You can be walking around in a t-shirt and a hoodie. I remember walking around in December around Christmas time in just a jumper and a t-shirt, and that was warm enough. It gets colder at night, but certainly inside the houses they get very cold. But yeah, the inside of this house doesn't actually look too shabby in my opinion. And then I show you this picture here. So this is one where there's obviously been a bit of damage here. It looks like we have water damage in there. So that'll be wanting some repair and some work on it. This property may require rewiring electrical. It might need a whole new modern electrical. So this is looking out of the window. This is the house that I said that's in front of the property. Little quiet road down the hill. And this one's been bricked up. So that's been abandoned. So it could be very quiet in the area. But this, I want you to look at. Look at this. Okay, so we can see a little bit. It looks like there's probably been a bit of water damage there. Probably water stains, a few sort of cracks. But on the whole, look at the woodwork. It looks like everything is looking perfect. Everything is pretty good quality from what I can see. I don't see a huge amount of rot. I see wear and tear where things have been bashed and battered. But it doesn't look too bad at all. And so here's a view from, which looks like it must be the down to the steps from the doorway. Again, look at that view. That is an incredible view. Now, the reason why I want to show you these sort of properties is that they are ridiculously affordable. So the stone steps look quite solid, actually. I don't know, could do with a bit of tidy up, maybe a bit of work on it, but it looks quite substantial, like it's not going to collapse or anything. This here is, this must be what I think is the downstairs bathroom, and that's the only downside. You have a downstairs outside bathroom, so you might want to connect that to the house somewhere. I'm sure that is possible. What you'll find as well is that a lot of these Portuguese houses, they have areas that are either under the house or these are probably used for storing animals. They're probably used or in the past for storing things like grapes and olives, all that kind of thing. So you get these extra little rooms which can be converted. Now, I don't know about the head size for this one. This might not be able to stand up in it, but this is something that can be renovated and transformed into potentially another room. And as you can see, this is another one. I think this is probably another underground one. So there's obviously been a bit of damage here, but again, another room that can be converted into something. So this is obviously just off that one. I think these are probably in the lean-to, the lean-to area. Now look at this. This is wonderful. This is an old fire here. So you've got the old fire. Again, wooden structured roofing. Plenty of potential here. Now, obviously, you can see this is looking a bit rough in some places. But when you consider that this is, what did I say, £58,500 UK pounds or 78,000 US dollars. What do you get for that, say, in the UK or the US? The opportunity or the project, what you can turn this house into is, there's a lot of potential here to make it into a nice place. But then you've got those incredible views, and on top of that, I'm going to talk a little bit about the area as well. So here's another outdoor area, traditional old sort of timber roof with tiles. They will need tidying up and waterproofing, but again, clear all this out. You could actually probably batten this wall out. You've got yourself potentially another room, something, or you could actually open it up and have it as an outdoor barbecue area. So you could possibly take this wall down, put some struts on there, some timbers, some ironwork, hold the front up, turn this out into a lovely outdoor sort of seating area with barbecue potentially. And so, as you can see, that there I think is the downstairs bathroom I talked about. So maybe you could be able to stick an artificial front on there so that it keeps it all within the house. But that was the area in there that we've just talked about. I mean, you're stepping up into it, so maybe you could step up, take those steps out and level it down and bring it more down to the right size. But then there's this here. This could be taken down. You can see there's a wooden structured roof under there. Then there's clad metal iron sheeting on top and to the side. Again, this could be brought out. This could be a place for your car, could be a garage. Again, it could be another seating area. Or you could take it all down and have a larger garden area. And that's your wall with the view over to the sort of the mountains. And so this is the inside by the looks of it. This is the inside area. Nice wooden roof. You've got your wrought iron sheeting on the top, or your galvanized sheeting on the top and to the side there, but it's another extra space. And I mean, this is like the Shish village style walls that you'll see in the Shish villages. They built walls out of the stone, the flint in the area, and it looks pretty cool. So this is the garden, stone sort of wall in there, so you probably could have a little bit of a garden patch in there, but you could pull that out and just make it a bigger garden. You've got a lot of scope, a lot of opportunity here to make this house into a wonderful house. This is the road outside your house. You do have a neighbours to the back, but you are basically sort of we'd say end terrace in the UK. So this is the house here. That was your plastic window. And then it's a quiet road down to the hill. And I think it is a pretty fantastic little property. So here's the bathroom. Now, if you can see here, there is a little back door there. It looks like a little back door. So this technically could possibly all be roofed over. And this could then be joined into the house. So you've got that opportunity there to actually make this all into a house. And if you look here, you'll see I talked about how you could stand on there and look out over the views. It has actually got a little area where you could probably squeeze a nice little chair and table on there, so you could go in and have your cup of coffee out there overlooking these views. So let's go back quickly and have a look at those views. Just get in there. So here we go. These are the views. So let's bring it down a little. So this is taken from obviously that little place at the back, but here we go. This is the one. So this is the veranda outside the front door where there's steps leading down into the garden. Here you could have your table and chair on there, and you could have these spectacular quiet views to the valley and the mountains, overlooking the valley and the mountains. So you can have your cup of coffee out there and have a look. Now, to have a look at the area, we are looking around somewhere here. São Miguel, Santa Eufémia, I can't pronounce that properly, I do apologise. Which is not too far from Penella. And Penella's got this beautiful old castle here. I've been there a couple of times myself. It's a fantastic place. So let me just show you, do a couple of sort of street views around Penella. So this is Penella here. And Penella is this beautiful small market town that is nestled on the side of the hill. Let me just see if I can get, let me go back to the main road here. So if I go to here, this was where we would drive into Penella. So that's Penella there. As you drive along, you can see the castle there, and as you drive along, it is just such a beautiful little town. And these are the mounting areas of in and around where this house is situated. Just go up here, so I'm going to pull off. There's the castle. So if I can go and if I just drop myself in there a little. So this is the castle at Penella. It is such a beautiful little Portuguese town. Very, in places, narrow roads, beautiful. Oops, took me onto the wrong side there. Let's go back into the middle of sort of Penella. Where are we? On the wrong side again. I just want to be more down here. Towards the market in the square, and as you can see, such a beautiful little place is Penella. I drove around these roads a few years ago, and yeah, it is such a beautiful town. And there's the mountains and the hills. So what I just wanted to talk about is, now we talked about the property of this. It's a 3-bedroom property, so it's right before renovation. I just wanted to show you a couple of things up. So it's €67,000. And let me just take this, just post that there. €67,000, which is around 58,500 UK pounds or $78,000. Now, I just wanted to compare a couple of things as well. So for €67,000 or £58,500, $78,000 you get this fantastic view, which is just outstanding. And so yeah, there is a lot of renovation work required, a lot of restoration, but it is a beautiful property with some fantastic views, and I just don't know where you're going to get anything like that in the UK for that price, for 58,000. Yes, there is going to be an amount of work that's required, and so there's going to be expense, and so it's going to be need more. Now, these are some things I want you to think about. When I lived in Portugal, there was a bill. It's by APIN, and I don't know if this is across the whole of Portugal, in different areas of Portugal. There could be different companies, different areas, but for around €26 per month, plus or minus, but around €26 per month, that was paying for the water, the sewage, and for the garbage rubbish collection. Now, unlike here in the UK, the garbage trucks don't go past your house and pull up with a wheelie bin. You have to take your rubbish to a central point. But it's all incorporated into that €26, which works out around £22.70 a month in UK or $30.23 in US. And that is for your water, sewage and garbage. Now, in the UK, I pay £60 per month for just water and sewage. Sometimes they are in different companies, but at the moment I think I'm paying it for the one company. So that's £60 per month for water and sewage. That is virtually the price of 2.5, just under 3 months of water, sewage and rubbish collection in Portugal. Now in the UK we pay council tax. I don't know what it's like elsewhere in the world, but we pay council tax, and I'm currently paying around $199 per month, and that's 10 months of the year, which works out around $264 per month. So that £199 per month for those 10 months. I don't know why we do it 10 months instead of 12. It would just be easy if this made it 12 for your direct debits, but it's 10 months. So $199 for that month. Out of that comes the garbage collection. Okay, and that pays for things like your council workers and your police and stuff like that. But that's £199, and that comes with the rubbish. But like I say, in Portugal, the rubbish collection, the garbage collection, comes under water and sewage, which is like €26. In Portugal, they have what is known as a property tax. And this is a government tax on per household. If you are earning under a specific threshold, you don't necessarily have to pay it, but it roughly works out around. A close friend of mine is paying around €220 euros per month. In fact, let me just. That's not dollars. That's at $200, and if it's over $200, you can pay it in 2 installments. So he's paying, I think, €220, and that's for the whole year. So €200 in UK price. So we've got 26 is 22, so 200. You're looking at probably about 190 quid British pounds for the whole year, and I'm paying 199 for a month out of 10 months. So that's like for the whole year. So the actual cost of living in many places of Portugal is a lot cheaper. So yes, there is going to be renovation cost prices, and yes, there is the price of buying the property, but the actual cost of possibly renovating and living there is going to be a lot cheaper than, say, the UK and potentially the US. Now, the great thing about Portugal is the population, I believe, is between 12 to 14 million. Now, here in the UK, we are at 60 odd million people, and I do believe that the UK is actually smaller in size than Portugal. If not, we're sort of similar. So Portugal has a very small population. It is growing. There's a lot of people moving to Portugal from the UK, from parts of Northern Europe, and there's plenty going from America. I do believe that Portugal is the number one destination for people to move to from the United States. So there's quite a large group of British and Americans, South Africans, certainly a lot of Brazilians in there. So it is growing. There's a mixed bag of fruit of people over there. It is growing, but the population is still relatively small compared to many other countries. And obviously in America, there's parts of America where you can be on the road and not see another car because it's such a vast country. But in the UK, just driving down the roads are rammed. In Portugal, the roads are often very, very quiet. And it is such a beautiful feeling being able to drive down the sort of motorways around the mountains and only see 1 or 2 cars every other few minutes. Like with the UK, you drive out, you can be sat in your drive waiting to pull out for 5 minutes because there's so many traffic. In Portugal, it can be incredibly quiet at times on the roads. Obviously, when you get closer to larger areas, so when you get down south towards Albufeira and places like that on the Algarve, where there's a lot more sort of tourists and a lot more foreigners living there, the area has grown. If you go to Lisbon and Porto, even Coimbra, there's going to be a lot more traffic. Now, the great thing I wanted to point out again is that this house in this area is not far from Coimbra as well, the city of Coimbra. And Coimbra is a fantastic, beautiful place. Where are we? Here it is, Coimbra. I've gone the wrong way. So Coimbra, so the house is roughly probably about 30 to 40 minutes drive from Coimbra. Depending on mountain roads, but I would say that you're probably looking at 30, 40 I used to live over here in Poyage, and it was a 30-minute drive to Coimbra, so maybe a bit longer. But yeah, Coimbra is a fantastic city, and you're not too far away. So, right, I'm now going to bring this video to close. I just wanted to show you that this is a fantastic house. 67,000 euros, which is, I said 55, what did I say it was, 55? 58,500 British pounds, or 78,000 US dollars. It's a renovation project, and it is got some beautiful, stunning views. So on that note, I'm just going to leave you now to enjoy the view, and I shall see you in another video. Cheers and goodbye.